I've been a coach for 7+ years. And the number one reason why I see people falling short of what they want in their lives and what they want to achieve is simple. It's that they don't write down their goals. And I've even met people who know their goals. They write their goals down. I was one of those people. I wrote down my goals every single day for a year straight. Yet I still struggled with achieving them. And the reason behind that is if you're not taking the necessary action and taking the right vehicle to get to where you want to be, you're always going to stay the same. It doesn't matter how often that you write down your goals or how much that you wish that it would happen. If you're not taking the proper action towards getting to them, it's never going to happen. So this is the protocol that I implemented into my life about 3 years ago, and that all of my clients use, that I've implemented into their lives, and what you're going to implement into your own life to be able to start your path towards that transformation. This is something that's done daily. So if you're not ready to commit to something on the daily to make sure that you're aligned with exactly what you want, click off the video. But this process is going to show you exactly how to make the actionable steps every single day to get you closer to those goals that you set out for yourself. So without further ado, let's dive right into this protocol, because you're going to need to be getting a pen and paper out to be able to take action on this protocol once this video is done. So let's lock in. The 5-5-5 method is the exact routine that you are going to be doing on a daily basis to be able to be crystal clear about your goals and overall create the change and transformation that you've been looking for when it comes down to your physique, your mindset, your finances, everything. This is the all-encompassing goal-setting blueprint that I myself started 3 years ago and has completely transformed my life and completely kept me aligned. So this presentation is going to be arguably the most important part of the entire program. So pay very close attention and get a piece of pen and paper out, because we're going to dive right into things. So let's start from the top here. So the 5-5-5 method, actually the number 555, small little note, somebody let me know this, and I didn't know this, but this is my goal setting blueprint that I've been using for 3 years. I found this out a couple of days ago, that the angel number 555 signifies significant change, transformation, and the need to embrace new opportunities and personal growth. So with that being said, that's exactly what this method does for you, right? And when you do it, it's starting the night before, because when you're going to sleep, before you go to bed, right, this is the beacon of preparation to keep you hyper focused on your mission. It's going to be able to keep you in constant evaluation of if you're actually getting closer towards your goals. And I'm going to dive into it completely. In the program, obviously you're watching this on Notion. There's going to be a full guide at the end of this video of how to track the 5-5-5 in Notion, and that way you're holding yourself accountable, and also I'm holding you accountable into getting it done on the daily, because it's extremely important, especially on the days that you don't feel like doing it. So this quote has resonated with me throughout my entire career, as well as whenever I feel like I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Your lifestyle never exceeds your level of personal development. And this is something that's extremely important to grab onto, because no matter where you're at, no matter how well you're doing, and the physique that you've been built for yourself and the lifestyle that you're living, and you're living in this crazy mansion, and say for example you're on a yacht, and like all of a sudden everything falls beneath you. Your personal development should be able to get yourself right back to where you were at. That's why your lifestyle can fluctuate, but your personal development should always be in a consistent uphill battle. So this is exactly how you keep that personal development in check. Get out a pen and paper. Okay, the 5-5-5. 5 goals, 3 to 12 months out. A 5-step morning routine that keeps you aligned, and 5 needle-moving tasks that you're going to be doing the next day. It's that simple. And this is something that you do every single night, so let's get right into it. First up, I'm going to be talking to you about the 5 goals 3 to 12 months out. They can be anything, okay? These goals and aspirations that I was talking about are already floating up in your mind. They already make up the lifestyle that you want to live. Create these 5 goals and make sure that they embody what you want to accomplish over the next 3 to 12 months. when you're creating these goals, don't just half-ass them. Write them with intention. Be crystal clear about what you want, and make sure it's on a very deep level on who you are as a person. And make sure that you understand that the more intention that you put into these goals, the more intention that you put onto this piece of paper that you're about to write on, is the more clearly that you're going to be able to act on them. So make sure they're clear and make sure they're concise. The process for turning these simple goals, well, sometimes they're complex, but the process for turning these goals into actionable milestones is very, very simple. You need to write them down in the present tense, as instead of I will or I'm going to, I am, right? And think about what you want to accomplish very deeply, because the more time that you spend on this goal, the more time you spend, and each will be getting better, and it will be ingrained into your mind, into the subconscious mind. I know that sounded a little confusing because I got my words mixed up. But the more time that you spend on each, the better, and it will be ingrained into your subconscious mind. That's better. Your subconscious mind works a lot harder than your conscious mind is. A lot more things processing in your subconscious. So you want to try and wire your mind into automatically aligning with these goals. This is why it's written down every single day, because it makes you clear about what you want. Next is the 5-step morning routine. The morning routine is a series of wins, and if you have a morning routine already and you're sticking to it, that's great. Just make sure that it's surrounding the pillars of man that we have accessible to the course, right? We cover mindset, systems, nutrition, training, sleep, and standards, and you know about this. So make sure that it's revolving around those pillars. And your morning routine is meant to be effective. It should be taking you under 30 minutes. And water is essential. The reason I write down water is because when you go to bed, right, your body is getting dehydrated throughout the night. So make sure that you are hydrating yourself first thing in the morning. Every person who has an amazing physique hydrates themselves in the morning. They're chugging water first thing in the morning. So if you're not doing that already, you need to be doing so. A morning routine, it's going to put you into a higher frequency, okay, if you don't have one yet. It's going to allow you to start strong, and completing these mandatory 5 steps as soon as you wake up is mandatory for the success throughout the day. And make sure that you're writing these down again. Every single day, make sure it is ingrained into your mind and it is a part of you now. This is arguably the most important part to the entire 555. And the reason I say this is because this is exactly what keeps you aligned with your goals on a daily basis. And this is what's going to make you feel like what used to take you a week to get done in terms of getting closer to your goals is going to take you a day. Because once you start doing these 5 needle moving tasks on the daily, you're going to be like, wait, I feel like I'm doing too much too quick, which is the best case scenario, because you're feeling like you're running out of things that you need to do. So that means your goals aren't big enough. You need to make sure that you are doing 5 needle moving tasks on the daily that are aligning with your 5 goals that are 3 to 12 months out. Because most of the time we're procrastinating on important things. We're putting them off, we're filling our time with pointless tasks, and that's just to make us feel productive. But the 5 tasks, they will allow you to supercharge your productivity, which is what I was talking about earlier. These are non-negotiable. So when you're writing them out the night before or tonight, right, when you're writing out these 5 actionable needle-moving tasks, you need to make sure that you're looking back at your 5 goals that you set for yourself and they are aligning directly with what your goals are set out to be. And that's the 555. So what I'm going to have you do right now in this workshop is you're going to be writing out your own 555. Here it is. Everything. Hold on. Everything. Pause the video. Write down your 555. I'm going to give you a few moments to pause the video and read through all of these things and write your own. Now that you've written everything down, I'm going to show you exactly how you're going to be tracking things in the Notion app, which makes things super easy. The reason I made you write it down is because you want to be able to go back to that piece of paper. So make sure it's in a very, very good place that you're going to be able to get back to once you start hitting your goals, because it's going to be a good milestone for you. But that's in the long run. Right now, you are focusing on these 5 goals, And tomorrow, you need to look at that piece of paper again and finish out the 5 needle moving tasks. Also, follow the 5-step morning routine that you've made for yourself. This is exactly how you track everything in Notion. So in the program, obviously you have access to Notion. And this is exactly how you're going to be tracking your 555. You're going to, on the computer, it looks a little bit different, but in the calendar, you see your 555 tracker. All you need to do is click this plus button and it will automatically populate into this 555 right here. This is what you do on the daily, just not today, but tomorrow this is exactly what you're doing. On the phone, it's a little bit different. All you do is hit this plus button and it automatically populates. You need to write down the date though. So on the phone, it's just a little bit different. When you do this plus button, it's going to populate and then you just click the date and then you set it to today or the day that you're doing it. So in the 555 on Notion, right, it's very simple. You write all of these things down. You can go back to it the day before and check all of them down. But you also are going to be writing down what time you're going to bed and what time you're waking up. The reason behind this is extremely important to your recovery and your consistency. Your body's ability to stay in a rhythm is based upon your ability to have an actionable bedtime and wake up time every single day. Minimum 8 hours, you already know that. Follow this guide and process. Make sure that you're writing down this 555 and check it off in the Notion weekly checklist that you've wrote down your first 555. So obviously this is a very private video that is only accessible to my one-on-one clients, and I'm sharing it with you today, so I'm glad you were able to watch it. Hopefully you were able to get this entire protocol in as clearly as possible. If you still are struggling with a strategy in terms of making sure that what you are doing is getting you towards that goal of shredding down body fat, building on muscle, or you just feel stuck like you're in a plateau, I've attached my free Calendly link to be able to book with me on a one-on-one call, and we'll get on a strategy call to be able to discuss the things that you feel like you're lacking in and where I'd be able to come in and change that part of your life for you. So let's get on a call if you feel like this video helped you, because there's a lot more strategy that goes into it than just this type of video. So let's lock in. Book below.